Namaste. My name is Lacey. I invite you to join me in this practice today of a chair-based yoga sequence. However, for those of you that are familiar or accustomed to a floor-based yoga practice, that some of these postures and movements can absolutely be done without the use of a chair. And so I invite you to follow along. And as we always do in this series, is we use the chair as a prop, but you're welcome to take your time, have a seat in the chair whenever you need a break, and always, friends, honor your body, honor your energy level, and so never push through any intense pain or discomfort when we go through movement. And of course, stay within your range of motion when it comes to our movement practice. And so with that, we will be using two props today. And so one of those will be a yoga block. If you don't have one, you can use something like a firm box or even a little footstool or a very firm cushion or pillow. And also we'll be using a strap. So this is a typical yoga strap, fabric strap. However, if you don't have one, you can absolutely improvise with a dog leash, a bathrobe tie, a belt, anything along those lines, so that it's long enough so that we can use that during our practice today. And I'll be demonstrating with those props. Some of you, of course, may not need them, but just in case to have them on hand. And so with that, I'd like to begin with a breath practice. And so this is called the 4-part breath. And so this is a count of 4 seconds of a hold of the inhales and exhales. And friends, I invite you that if the 4-second count is either too long or too short for your liking, then absolutely adjust and tailor that count to what is appropriate for you. And so as we begin, I invite you to first relax your arms at the side, shoulders down, and even move your jaw, your chin along side to side. And so as you relax that tension that might be in these little areas, as we soften the elbows, I invite you to place your hands, what helps keep the shoulders down and keeps the arms relaxed. So whether you like to cup your hands up or down in your lap or separate them, some of you may actually have a specific mudra if you're familiar with those in a yoga practice. I invite you to take a mudra, and otherwise, friends, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And as you draw your shoulders down, imagine that your ears are right over your shoulders, over your hips. And then as we now connect to the breath, I want you to gently feel that as you inhale, you're filling the belly. You can even take your hands to your low belly and feel that. As you exhale, draw your belly button back towards your spine, toward the back of your chair. And continuing on, inhale, fill the belly. And as you exhale, once again, draw the belly back. And so as we continue that, now we're going to start our breath practice for a few rounds. Inhale, fill the belly for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold gently. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, belly back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty space. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing on. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold gently. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty space. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold gently. 4, 3, 2, 1. Smooth exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty space. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold gently. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty space. 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you hold for a moment here, even keeping your eyes closed, if you need to move the chin or the jaw around slightly, even roll the shoulders a bit, I invite you to just notice how you feel and how impactful just a few rounds of a breath practice can be. And so as we all begin to blink the eyes open, gently begin to draw your chin down toward your chest. And as we come out of that gentle meditative position. We're going to release forward. Some of you may want to bring your forearms onto your thighs. And as you continue to bring the chin down toward your chest, if you have been advised to not lower your head past your heart line, you can absolutely stay here and just keep the chin into the chest. However, those of you that are okay with going more further forward and would like to do so, you can take your hands down the fronts of your legs and release your head down gently further. Some of you may want to take your hands to the floor. And so wherever that is, bring the shoulders down, and of course shoulder blades. Think of your angel wings sliding down toward your back pockets. And then taking another breath here. If you have folded forward very deeply toward the floor, gently begin to roll up to seated. And as we come up, we're going to come into a gentle twist. So what we're going to do is gently check in. What we're going to do is keep the legs together, just separated. We're going to take hand to the opposite thigh, shoulder down, and then taking your free hand to the side of the chair seat or maybe to the back. Inhale, get tall. Then as you exhale, draw the shoulders down and begin your twist. Now the twist is the belly drawing in. Take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, once again, pull the belly in on your twist. Inhale, gets tall. And then as we release back, coming center, we're just going to switch hand to the other thigh. Free hand to the side of your chair or the back. Shoulders down. Inhale, get nice and tall through the crown of your head, and exhale, begin to twist, gazing toward either that shoulder or just to the space next to you. Take another breath. And then as you gently release, we're going to begin to warm up the shoulders. So letting the arms hang at the sides, shoulders down, and we're going to take the palms out to face forward. So like 45 degrees or a little higher if you'd like. So initially the palm is facing out and your thumb is up, pinky down. You're going to rotate thumbs down, pinkies up. And we're going to do that a few times. So we're just warming up the rotator cuff, the shoulder heads, getting in some circulation there. And then one more time. As you hold here, we're going to sweep the arms up. Now keep the arms straight. They may need to be more forward. Instead of worrying about framing biceps next to your ears, I'd rather you bring the arms more forward instead of bending the elbows to bring it up all the way toward the ceiling. Take a breath in here. As you begin to exhale, draw the belly in, turn your palms out, and bring your arms back to the sides like you're pressing through the air. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And at the peak of your inhale, you're reaching to the ceiling. On the exhale, bring the arms down. From here, we're going to bring the arms up. Palms will touch at the peak of your inhale. Exhale, gently pull that through. And friends, we're going to begin with our standing practice. So our version of the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. Friends, if you are familiar with a floor-based practice, I invite you to just do a half salutation, 2 of those, and then about 2 full vinyasas, Surya Namaskar, to come through. So as we all join here, I'm going to turn my chair around. I'm going to move my props out of the way for now. And so as I turn my chair seat to face me, those of you that need to work with the back of the chair, absolutely is fine. But I'm going to stay here. I'm going to hold the chair seat, and as I do so, what I'm going to do is make sure that it's at a comfortable distance, so that my feet are parallel. Think of the number 11 or railroad tracks. Basically, the edges of your feet are like the edges of your room, and if you're using a yoga mat, like the edges of your mat. So from here, think of that string through the crown of your head. Get really nice and tall. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then as you once again turn the palms out, you're going to gently bring the arms down to your chair seat, bend into your knees, and pull your hips gently back. So we're going to bring our shoulders forward over our wrists. I like to pedal my knees a little bit, a little side to side movement of the hips and of your head. And then gently from here, coming into what is our setup for cat and cow. So as I mentioned, those of you that are doing a forward fold or a vinyasa, if you're used to floor-based practice, you're going to begin your half forward fold and forward folds. For those of us here with the chair, we're going to begin our cat and cow sequence. So this is how we're getting some flexion and extension into our spine, rounding up. And then one more time, pulling the chest through, gazing forward. What we're going to do is come on up. So if you're doing your half salutation, we're going to rise on up through Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing hands, taking the arms up to the ceiling, and then exhale, bring your arms back to the sides. And then from here, one more time, coming through that half. So those of us using the chair, we're going to be doing, once again, cat and cow, 2 more times, or an extra round if you'd like. Of course, friends, this is your practice, so if you need a little bit more movement before we progress further, please do that. Again, always make sure hips are about over the heels, shoulders over the wrists, and we're always trying to just get movement of rounding into the spine and extending as well in this cow pose. Once again, bend the elbows, push down through heels, rise on up, lifting up, and then exhale, turn the palms out. So now we're going to start with, for our chair sequence, adding in our version of downward facing dog called puppy dog, but also working in plank with the chair. We're building toward that, as well as working in some bow and arrow. So our practice for lengthening out for our balance segment. So from here, feet are parallel. Once again, we'll begin with Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing hands. As you exhale, turn the palms out, bring your hands to the chair seat, and once again, we're going to do 2 rounds of cat and cow. So as we round up, exhale, come into cow. One more time, rounding up. And then as we come into cow pose, what we're going to do is hold here. On our inhale, we're going to step back. And then from here, chair friends, we're going to use puppy dog here as our first entry into it, I should say. Friends, those of you going through Surya Namaskar A on a floor-based practice, you're going through plank first, a cobra, and then downward facing dog. And so as we're pulling gently the hips back, arms are working by really firming the bicep and the tricep as you're gently holding the edges of the chair or the seat, or you're pressing palms into your seat. You are making contact with the amount of the index and pinky finger, and you're really feeling that work of the bicep and tricep. Let your head just hang here. Bend the knees as much as you need to in downward facing dog or here in puppy dog. Take another breath. Inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Bring yourself forward, walking forward to the chair. From here, round up for cat. Exhale for cow. Friends, you're going to hold here. What we're going to do is now step the leg back, left leg back, and this is the right foot leading. What we're going to do is come into our practice for bow and arrow. So, friends, those of you that just did Surya Namaskar A, you're going to now come down into tabletop and start bow and arrow sequence. So from here, we're going to take right hand to the back of the chair. You're going to extend that arm forward, shift your left shoulder over your wrist, and if you're ready, go ahead and lift that left leg up. So when you lift that left leg, you're going to really firm your bum, and you're going to make sure that the toes are pointing down. So it's a flexion of your foot. From here, arm is extending away. You know, my arm is cut off, but you're reaching hand and foot away. Take another breath, and then gently set that down, hand down, taking now that foot forward, pedal it out, and then we are going to take right foot back, leading now with the left foot. What we want to do is keep that bend in the front knee. Draw the chest forward, shoulders over the wrists. You're going to take left hand to the back of the chair, and then go ahead and extend. Those of you that want to try to lift and balance, go for it. This is all levels, of course. So as you bring, once again, the chest forward, the right shoulder should be right over the wrist. Really squeezing your right bum. Yep, this is where you want to squeeze, so you can keep that leg lift. Take another breath. Awesome. Bring the hand down, foot down, hand to your chair seat. From here, step forward. We're going to come into cat and cow. Those of you on the floor in bow and arrow, you're now doing cat and cow. We're all going to now meet up in puppy dog or down dog. So as we step back, here we go. Bend the knees, pull the hips up and back. Roll shoulders away from your ears, friends. Make sure you can move your head gently, no and yes. And as you bend your knees, yes, friends, your belly can come toward your thighs, totally fine. Let the head just hang in between your arms. Making sure that your feet are parallel. How do you know that? Well, you will not be able to see your heels. Disappear your heels. Whether your toes are turned out or turned in, we want them to face forward. Take another breath in here. Inhale, lift the head, lift the chest, and then friends, walking to your chair. From here, round up for cat. Exhale for cow. Everyone meeting up. We're going to come back into Tadasana. As we come up through Urdhva Hastasana, back into mountain pose. Inhale, and then exhale, arms at the sides. So one more round through, and we will add in plank for those of you who are ready. And yes, even a one-legged plank. So here we go, feet parallel. Our last version of Surya Namaskar. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, off we go. Hands to the seat or coming down into your half forward fold and full forward before you come into your plank. So that is for those doing a floor-based sequence. From here, as we now come into rounding of cat, Exhale for cow. One more time, rounding up. Exhale for cow. And then stepping it back into our puppy dog first. As we come into puppy dog, gently from here, taking your time, pulling hips up and back. And then from here, friends, we are going to come into plank. So if you were in down dog on the floor, you're going to come into plank once again. All of us are going to come forward. Now, friends, if this is not appropriate for you, if you're using the chair, come forward and come into cat and cow. We will meet you there. Now, as I mentioned, when you come into plank, really pull the low belly up like you're zipping up a pair of pants. You're pressing back through those legs. You're going to lower the hips, but again, pull the belly up and then pull the chest through. Option for one-legged plank. Yep, try both. Set one foot down, lift the other, really firm in through the belly. Take another breath. Lower that down. Here we go. Coming up, we're all meeting up in cat and cow. Rounding up. Exhale for cow. Friends, we're finishing our Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms touch and pull that through, holding at the heart. Gently notice your breath, checking in. And then exhale, arms at the side. So, friends, we're going to begin our standing series together. With that, I will be demoing with the chair. And so, I'm going to keep the chair facing forward for right now. Same thing, seat is facing me. So, of course, if you are used to doing a floor-based practice, you're going to be doing these poses without the chair. So with that, once again, coming into Tadasana, feet parallel. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Keep the arms up and come into warrior one with your right leg leading, or those of you with me in the chair. Take hands to your chair, seat, take your right foot more to the right side of your mat, step your left foot back, turn the toes out. And what you're going to do is bend into your front right knee so that it's right over the heel. Your foot will either be right outside the chair leg or just behind it so that you can have that 90-degree angle, that bend. Now my left toes are turned out and I'm not in a tightrope. I'm making sure there's space. This is key. So what you're going to do is pull that right hip back, lift the chest, lift the heart. And then from here, friends, those of you that are already lifted up into warrior one, we're going to join you. So hands either to the block and thigh or maybe to the thigh. Other option, one arm comes up, or you can always stay with arms on the chair seat, hands on the chair seat. As you lift up, really press through that back foot. Take another breath in here. Gently exhale, hands to your chair seat. From here, you're going to pull your back heel up. So now, a slight bend into that back knee. As you come into now, high lunge position with that foot, just like we practiced with our plank and with our bow and arrow. What we're going to do is one more time, come up into our standing pose. Now, if you need to keep holding onto the chair, that's what you're going to do. Start to squeeze your inner thighs. And then as you keep that back heel lifted, taking now crescent pose, Anjaneyasana if you're ready. Take another breath in here. Awesome. Exhale. Hands come to your chair seat. You're going to firm your belly and pull that right leg back. Friends, from warrior one, you're coming into downward facing dog or puppy dog. Here we go. Bending your knees, let your head hang. And so as you hold here, moving the head gently, no or yes. Take a breath in here. We're going to lift the head, lift the chest, and come into the left side. So the left foot's going to step forward. You're going to really bend into that front left knee so that once again you have that 90-degree angle. As you now adjust, turn the right toes out. So we have space in between the feet. You're not on a tightrope. As you now have that lift of the chest, as you keep pressing through the back foot, taking now warrior one. Where is it for you on this side? You don't have to lift the arms up into the full expression of the pose. Be where you are. Take another breath. As you exhale, we're getting right into Anjaneyasana, crescent pose. This is known as high lunge. So as you can see, my back heel's lifted up right over the toes. You're going to pull that left hip back to make sure your hip points are facing forward. And yes, if you'd like to lift up, once again, hands can stay on the chair or the front thigh. But if you're ready to lift up, full expression of Anjaneyasana, crescent pose. This is awesome. Excellent work. Take another breath. And then gently bring it back down. And then from here, once again, we're all meeting in puppy dog or down dog. Friends, if at any time, you could also take a child's pose if you're doing a floor practice. Let your head hang. So we're resetting here, and we will come to our next part of our standing series. So friends, those of you that are going to be coming along with me with the chair. I invite everyone actually to try this work with the chair. Of course, if you use the floor for your practice, no worries. Take your step forward, one round of cat. Exhale for cow. Bend the elbows, rise on up. And then from here, once again, palms come to the heart. So now what we're going to do is turn the chair sideways. So I invite everyone to try this with me. Otherwise, you can come right into a low lunge onto the floor. So from here, what we're going to do is take now your hand to the chair. And so your stabilizing leg is the same side as the hand that you're holding your chair back with. We're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you do. So what you're going to do is make sure that you can step your foot onto the chair. Now, if this is not available to you, friends, what you can do is stack blocks, one or two, and then use this for a placement for your foot if this is not available to you. Or something, again, of equal height. So for here, I'm going to use the chair. So what we're going to do is start with a low lunge sequence, but using the chair. So we're going to get into a hip flexor stretch. That would be the front of this thigh. So the standing leg, that's where we're going to feel the stretch first. So from here, I like to keep my hand on the front thigh. And then as I gently bend my knee, as you can see, my knee is bending forward, past my heel, and that's okay. You're going to come forward as much as you can to feel that stretch within reason, not too intensely. So as you hold here, take a breath in. And then gently pull back. Now, friends, this is where you're going to want to slowly pull your hips back. Keep the knee bent. Hold on to that chair. And now begin to push your heel forward so that now you're flexing your foot and your toes are pointed to the ceiling. From here, as you keep that gentle bend into the knee, if you like to reach forward, so yes, this is a standing half split Ardha Hanumanasana, friends, on the floor. If you were doing low lunge into a runner's lunge, you're now coming into half split on the floor. From here, if you like to reach toward the toes, if that's available to you, you can always bend as much as you need to into this knee. But I want to see that you are bringing the heart forward, not rounding. Yes, if I could see you, I would want to see that you're not rounding into your back. So from here, relax this arm, take another breath. And then gently bending this knee as you pull that heel in. From here, one more time, sinking the hips down and forward. And then pulling gently back. Take that foot off. And then what we're going to do is, friends, grab our strap. And so we're still working on the same side. So you're going to get your strap. And now from here, you're going to bring your knee onto that chair. So I invite everyone to try this version with the chair. What you're going to do is make like a loop with your strap. So that what you're going to do is loop that around your foot and your leg like this. What you're going to do is first get a quad stretch, quadricep stretch, the front of this thigh. You're going to hold onto your chair, pull your heel toward your bum. And so as you may need to, rest that knee onto your chair. Or if you're okay taking that off the chair, you're going to pull that back. Be careful of the shoulder holding your strap for that tension. Now, friends, those of you that have the capability of holding even the pant leg or your ankle or even the foot, you're going to pull that knee again gently down to face toward the floor, but never feel pressure on that knee. Now from here, friends, the balance part. Let go of your chair. And yes, friends, this is a very sneaky way of getting into dancer's pose. So as you extend the opposite arm away, heel comes away. Those of you that have the hold without the strap, you can start pushing that heel and foot away, extending. Take a breath. Hand down if you ever need to. Bring that in. Ooh, that was awesome. Take that strap off and then set that foot down onto the floor. Shake it out a little bit. I'm going to turn my chair around to do the other side. So from here, once again, it's like a sideways position of your chair. Have the strap available, of course. And so from here, you're going to take that foot again. If you need the block stack, please do so. As you now hold gently, taking now our runner's lunge. Those of you using the floor, low lunge into runner's lunge. So that knee is going to come forward. We're going to just do a side angle so you can see. It's okay to bring that knee forward past the heel because we're not standing and bearing weight. So we're getting that stretch for this standing leg for the front of that thigh, the hip flexor. Taking a breath in here, and then gently coming back. What you're going to do is now, once again, come into your hamstring stretch. This is a half split. If you're on the floor, moving into Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. If you're reaching forward, yes, toward the toes, if you have that available to you, once again, bring the heart forward as opposed to rounding your back to get to the foot or even to the shin or the ankle. If you want to just take hand to the chair and then bring your head down toward the direction of your knee, that's perfect. Find what works for you in this stretch. Take another breath in here. And then once again, we want to bend that knee to pull that heel back, especially if you're on the floor on a mat. Now from here, one more time, hand onto that thigh to support as you bring that knee forward. Remember, keeping that nice tall lifted spine. Breathe in here. And then coming back, we're going to get our strap once again. So as you get your strap, have your knee gently in your shin, resting on your chair. Make your loop, take it underneath that foot and that leg. Create the tension that is appropriate for you. So now as you explore your balance first, holding onto the chair and then pulling that heel into your bum, what you're doing is creating first a quadricep stretch. So you're stretching out this glute muscle. As you pull that back further, of course, seeing that the knee is okay with that there's no pressure. If you can grab without the strap, your ankle or the foot, pulling that back as well. And then friends, continuing there. Of course, if you need to rest on the chair, it's there for you. But if you like to start to come away, once again, that arm reaching away. As you hold, I'm going to get my balance first, and extend hand and foot. That's your option to take the leg further back. Try to, again, keep the heart forward and lifted as opposed to dipping down. Take another breath wherever you are in your dancer's pose. Bring that down. Knee in gently. Release the strap. Awesome work. From here, taking now a standing stretch. So friends, that was awesome. What we're going to do is now just keep the chair at the side. So as you hold on to that gently, what we're going to do is just a nice standing stretch. So you're going to keep one hand onto your hip, extend your arm up. Feet are about hips distance. You're going to start to just a side stretch, lean, if you will, getting into that side waist. And then if you'd like to extend your arm against the side of your leg, press against the outside of your leg, and that gives you a little bit more of that resistance in this stretch. Take another breath. Gaze can be up or down. As you keep pressing into the side of that leg, lift up, palm turns out. And then I like to start with hand on the hip first. Inhale, take the arm up. Come into your side stretch. And then once again, if you'd like to press the arm against the side of your leg, take a nice deep breath in here. This was an awesome sequence, everyone. Thank you for joining me. So as you turn that palm out, one more time, inhale, sweep the arms up. And then palms touch. Bring it through to the heart. And then gently now, we're going to come into our last seated stretch. So what you're going to do is, if you need to, friends, I'm getting my yoga block once again. Or again, this is wherever you can get your cushion, footstool, whatever works. So just in case you need that. So what we're going to do is, friends, if you have been doing the floor practice, you're going to lie back because you are on your path to Shavasana or meditation. So you're going to lie back and do figure four stretch and Baddha Konasana, feet together and knees out. So I'm going to demonstrate those in the chair. So friends, as you cross ankle to the top of the thigh, right close to the knee. Some of you have this available to you, some not. So we're going to modify. So ankle cross is a go-to, but for many of us, as you come forward, keeping hands onto that bent knee thigh, you may notice that you're not getting enough stretch in your outer hip. So the leg that's in front, that's the hip that's getting stretched. So in this case, taking your prop, like your block, place that ankle or edge of the foot onto that, take that mid shin cross, and then this is kind of like that Goldilocks spot, if you will, that happy medium where you have that nice modification in case you cannot take that figure four cross on top of that thigh. So as you come forward, once again, we don't want to round like we did in our practice. We want to bring the heart forward and hinge at the hip. So that's where that stretch is. Take another breath. And then inhale, coming back up. From here, as you gently take that, uncross. And then once again, you're going to take the other side. So as you cross, maybe this side you can accommodate a higher position, maybe here, maybe not. Maybe it's the ankle cross once again, or this is the modification for you. So now I'm going to demonstrate with the figure 4 connecting here to the top of the thigh. So friends, yes, one hip may be tighter than the other. So as you come forward, I rest my hands on just my leg and gently draw my heart forward once again. So you want to make sure that, yes, you're not rounding forward and that you are making sure that I'm not pressing too much into this leg, that I just rest my hands gently. As I bring my heart forward, I'm making sure that I am feeling an effective stretch, but not pushing so much that I can't breathe through this, that I'm trying to hold my breath and just tense through it. I don't want you to do that. Take another breath in here. And then gently coming out of that. So once again, knees in and out. Friends, if you're on the floor, you're going to do soles of the feet together, knees out like a butterfly. I like to use my block for this version too. So what we're going to do is take our feet onto the block, press that together. Of course, you don't have to use your block. And then if your hips are really tight or if this is uncomfortable, slide a little bit more forward with that block. And what you're going to do is connect. You're going to make a wider angle. And so as you press the bottoms of your feet together, at least the inner arches, what you're going to do is feel that stretch for the inner thigh muscles and the inner groin and a little less pressure in the outer hips. So personally, I find that this is ideal for me. I can find that effective stretch, but also I can feel really nice and tall through the rest of the upper body. Take another breath in here. And then gently you're going to release that. And if you're on the floor, friends, continue any other stretches or movements before you come into your final resting pose of Shavasana. And so all of us here, as we join up into our closing, if you are in meditation in your chair, I invite you to set up gently. If you need to place your feet upon that block or another, like a cushion, I want you to feel your feet rooted into the floor, shoulders down. Those of you in Shavasana lying back onto the floor, allow your body to completely release and just melt in your floor. And so as we come into our final closing of practice together, I want you to just take a few moments here relaxing. Of course, friends, even though I will be ending our session, you can lie here or remain in meditation for as long as you'd like. And so as you just close your eyes and come into the final culmination of your practice, that as you start to notice your breath, as you calm the breath, and begin to relax and breathe away any tension that you can. That with every exhale, you're releasing tension, thoughts that might be rather negative or intrusive, and just breathe that away. Have grace and patience for yourself. That as you come into a meditative position, that you're utilizing only the minimal amount of effort to maintain a nice tall spine. Of course, if you're on the floor in Shavasana, corpse pose, you are just releasing and completely relaxed into the floor. All of us softening the breath, coming into the very natural rhythm of your breath as if you're about to fall asleep. And so friends, as you remain here for at least a few moments, even after I close our practice, that as we come back to the softening of our heartbeat, of your pulse, and as you come to the end of your session today, with gratitude in this space and gratitude to yourself for practicing yoga, for honoring your body as well, that as you take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly, wherever you are right now, that as you soften your shoulders and you feel the pulse of your heartbeat and your breath, that as you feel this moving gently beneath your palms, that feeling this beautiful connection to yourself, but also energetically. And so with a grateful heart, a very full heart, I want to thank each and every one of you for practicing yoga with me. Namaste.